How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. So, I appreciate all the views from the last video. I can't believe it. I just kept it simple and it seemed to go okay. And um, yeah, so quick story. MS-13. I just saw the story, and it all went down in 2017 when our borders were secure. So I'm gonna I'm gonna try to go over that, but I had a run in with him. One of my supervisors, we were cool, and his son was a white guy, and he was in that gang, and his El Salvador friends. And I just went by my supervisor's house, and don't really want to say exactly what was going on, but I ended up being paranoid by the time I was leaving. You know what I mean? So and and I just kind of like saw him, and I just got a real bad feeling about him, and I just kind of like looked at the ground and left. And then the next day, my boss was like, "Oh, they called you a bitch or whatever," and I'm like, "What? Whatever." So anyway, no shit. A week later, they went to a club, got into it with some black kids, and they were racing around downtown, shooting at each other from the cars. And he was telling me one of the guys was calling him crying, "I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail." And I was just thinking, well, yeah, who's the bitch now? You know what I mean? But hopefully, talking about this, my boss has passed, his son has passed, and and it was pretty tragic, both of them. I don't want to get into that, and hopefully, I don't get no retaliation from the gang for doing this. But I'm just sharing my experience, and I'm going to share the news of what they did in Maryland. So, so yeah, that was basically it. And then I think it was a couple of years later. This was probably like 20 years ago when this happened. It was like 20 to 15 years ago. I can't even remember. Um, but I ended up one of my, one of the guys came and worked for our company, and I worked with him for a minute, and we were cool. We didn't have any problems at all, but he was definitely crazy, like really crazy, like crazier than me or whatever. It's just like special kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, so hang on. All right, so here's the guy, young guy. He's a Maryland man, MS-13 gang member, committed a triple homicide to get promoted. He wanted to get promoted in the gang. Don't even really care about his name. He's 24 years old. He got life without the possibility of parole in federal prison for murders. Um, it was a bid to gain seniority status with the gang. The definite brutally murdered members of rival gangs, prosecutor said. On March 2016, he lured a gang member to a park while his associates secured the park's perimeters to avoid detection by law enforcement or witnesses. The victim was struck in the head with a stick and fatally stabbed repeatedly. And the uh, authorities a year later found the body in a shallow grave. Same guy. Second victim, 2017. The defendant lured a 17-year-old rival gang member. Stabbed the victim more than 100 times. Okay, now this is getting a little crazy, right? 100 times. Think about that. Stab someone 100 times. That's crazy. This guy's only 24 years old. Next, they dismembered him, cut out his heart, then buried the victim in a hidden grave. Okay, getting a little nervous yet? Okay, June 24th, 2017, 21-year-old Jenny. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have said her name. So a female was lured by another female from the crew in Maryland, where she was fatally stabbed repeatedly, decapitated, and dismembered before slaying. Before the slaying, that guy had gone to the area and dug a grave in preparedness for the homicide when planning the victim's murder. And yeah, that's about as far as I want to go. But see what I'm talking about as far as brutally dangerous, and these are young people too. Anyway, later.